5:58, 2 minutes.
No.
Yes, no, 1 minute. That's what I'm saying. Y'all ready? I know it, and I'm showtime. I give it 1 minute, we're going. Everybody got quiet. That's nice. Well, let's everybody get quiet. Let's go ahead and go for it. I call this meeting to order, please.
Here.
Hamilton.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Robinson. Here. Baxter.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
Insulaco.
Here.
And Height.
Present.
Thank you. If everybody stand for a prayer by Mr. Baxter and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we're just so thankful for this day and the many blessings that you bestow upon us. We're just so thankful we could gather and conduct the business of this city. Lord, we just ask that you would be with us, give us the wisdom to make the decisions that are pleasing in your eyes, the eyes of our constituents. Lord, we just ask that you put your loving hands and comfort around our city employees, Lord. Just give them the attitude and the desire to provide professional services for each of our citizens. Just be with us as we go throughout this week, Lord. We ask to sing in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
So
sir.
moved.
Appreciate it.
Second.
Motion and seconded.
On the motion, Ross.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco.
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
Thank you. If anybody would like to pull any communications, please do, because I've got one I'd like to pull on communications, and that would be number 3, if you don't mind pulling that. And if not, I'll,
Move to accept and file 1, 3, and 4.
2 and 4. 1, 2, and 4.
I'm sorry, 1, 2, and 4. That's right.
Motion to accept and file 1, 2, and 4, please.
Second.
Motion seconded.
On the motion, Ross.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco.
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm going to change this up on presentations for just a second. Robert, you here? Where are you?
We need to vote on 3. We
Go
need
ahead,
to
vote on
no.
3 then. I'm going to pull it, is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So I just want to pull it. That's
Do we
what I was-
still need to vote no on that one?
Go ahead, if you want to vote it, that's fine. Let's go ahead and vote that I'm pulling it, please, if you'll call it and
Okay.
just pull it.
On the motion, Ross.
This is on communication 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to read it by title and then we'll vote on it. Okay. Communication 3, Kenny Stevens, Safety Traffic Services Director, email regarding Saunders speed study performed May 23rd through 31st, 2023. After review of findings, no speed hump is needed at this location.
This is a new one for me because we usually vote to accept and file. We don't have a motion on the floor. The mayor said he would like to pull it, but it's not his communication. So I think that the proper procedure would be to have a motion to not accept and file this in a second. And then the vote, if you voted yes, you'd be voting to have it pulled. Does that make sense?
No, but let's do it. Let's go for it.
Okay, do you have a?
So, so per the mayor, I move to not accept.
Thank you very much. I sure
communication.
appreciate it.
Second.
Okay.
Motion and second, please call it.
Second.
Ross.
No.
Hamilton.
I vote yes to not accept.
Vote no.
Taylor.
I know, it's all, I know. it's-
Okay, the motion was to not accept it, so, Ms. Ross, you
Oh, so,
voted.
yes, to not accept it.
Okay,
Yes.
Taylor.
Just say yes.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Insulaco.
Yes.
And Height.
Yes.
Motion has failed to be accepted.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Y'all guys in the back ready? I want to bring Robert Birch up here, please. Let's go around. I want everybody to see, we haven't had one of these updates in, I don't know, a few months, so I'd like to take time for about 6 minutes. Robert, if you don't mind, please, sir.
a lot of the growth, and there's more to come. We had kind of a packed night, so we just are going to trim it down to the meeting tonight. Colleen and I worked on this with Brent Walker, and he's done a fantastic job, so let the video play.
Thank you. Y'all guys ready in the back, please?
Hey, North Little Rock. Robert Birch, Director of Development for the city. And I wanted to let you know what's been going on in the East Broadway area the last few years. In 2018, we started a study to see what we could do to revitalize that area. So we gathered neighborhoods together, we gathered businesses together, we gathered some educational aspects of our city together to see what can we do to revive what was once a thriving part of our city. Well, right now I'm standing on one of the big key pieces of that. This is the site of the new health clinic that the city is partnering with Baptist Hospital to bring a clinic to this area that hasn't been here in over 10 years. So construction started a few months ago. As you can see, it looks like a totally different corner than what we had before. But what I want to do right now is I want to take you to look at the rest of the things that are going on in East North Little Rock.
That's a big project there. Look what's on top of Hum's Hardware, guys. So y'all know that Federal Metal is actually going on Pike Avenue on the west side of town, but we're very proud of it, so I went ahead and put it out there.
7th Street Elementary is going through a reconfiguration process, which is a part of the district transformation process that's going on. And through that, we are working on a themed model approach with a heavy emphasis on project-based learning. We're also restructuring the daily schedule. So we'll have a half day. Wednesdays are early release Wednesdays. Our students will have a half day of project-based learning focus and then a half day of what we're calling intensive support groups.
So I do believe with the confidence of the district, with all the supports that we have in place, we will bridge that gap between the district and the community, the district and parents, along with the school and the parents. We want to make a difference. We want this to be big. We want this to be a reflection of what can happen when we build strong connections with our community.
I think this would affect our community in a positive way because our kids in general, when you look at the years historically, we have not seen the growth that we needed to see for our students. And so looking at new approaches and looking at how we can better meet the needs of our students, I think this is not just a great thing for our students, but our community, once we embrace it, is going to see that this is really providing our students an opportunity that allows them to do things within our community and also be ready for our global society. So it is really a win-win for all.
Thank you, Robert. I think you've got a couple other announcements right fast, please, or you can talk about.
Well, real quick, what I wanted to show is that shows the diversity of what we're doing in that part of the city. It shows restaurants, it shows businesses, it shows a key component to our community, which is our education system. So we are partnering with those businesses. We're partnering with the school district to really revitalize that area. We actually are in the process of soon to be announcing 2 more projects that are more recycling projects, and they are more green initiative projects for our city that are going to continue to bring more investment, more jobs to the city. So one of the projects is about $50 million and about 90 jobs. The other one, we don't have all the numbers figured out on it yet, but both are locating in North Little Rock. So.
Thank you. Any questions for him? Thank you for your time. We do appreciate it. Thank you for the video. That's very good. With that, I'm going to go ahead and bring Mike Davis and Ember, if y'all can come up. I thought the public really wanted to see, and Kim, yes, I'm apologizing, Kim. I want to give everybody an update where we are on our tornado and where we've been working with. So, Mike, if you don't mind, sir.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We have a little PowerPoint we want to show real quick with some pictures and a few other things of what we've been going through throughout the city, Burns Park, and the rest of the city as well. First thing up, you're going to see something that talks about people that are affected by the tornado. Go ahead to that next slide, if you will. And the numbers that we were able to come up with were 1,690 people that were involved, 738 houses sustained damage. That would mean either destroyed, had major damage, minor, or affected by shingles off, a tree on the roof, something like that. So not total damage, but quite a bit. Also, it talks about the employee food pantry damage. That building, we're not going to be able to occupy it anymore, as most of y'all know, and they've relocated it temporarily. So, but that does affect a lot of people that were normally getting things from there. Now they're being shifted, going to Amboy, the Methodist Church at 47th and Camp.
Levy Methodist Church, I think.
Levy.
Levy Methodist.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes,
okay. Next slide, please. A little update on debris removal. Total loads that Crowder Gulf picked up in our city was 5,275 loads, which is 310,000 cubic yards. A little update on what they were doing. They have dawn to dusk has been the trucks that you saw around town. They are coming back through one more time on June 21st just to pick up anything that we can't pick up. Condo and his crew at sanitation have been taking care of everything so far, and they're not really having to do any outside help at this point. So I'm very pleased with the progress of that, and our neighborhoods are a lot cleaner because of that as well. So June 21st, and that will be just strictly for vegetation only. It won't be any construction debris or anything like that. Most of these people are contracting out. They're responsible for removing that debris. Next slide, please. So just kind of want to update a little bit and show some pictures from Burns Park and a few other things. We've been out there for the last week, just about every day. 11 pavilions, 6 restrooms. Next slide. The baseball fields, 3 ball fields total, Wildcat softball, senior North Rock High School baseball, and the DeJanis Field stadium sustained damage as well. So we're currently trying to figure out a game plan on how we want to get those places repaired and what kind of order we want to do things. Next. Other damage out at the park is the BMX track. Disc golf is no longer anywhere trees around to play disc golf. Tennis center fencing and Soldier Memorial that is on the outside of Burns Park, but it's right there on the corner at the what? Military McCarthy. I was trying to think of the name of the place. My friend's place used to be.
Yeah.
And soccer also damaged. Out the park damage that we have out there as well. You're looking at those places. We're currently assessing those. RV park office, the women's club sustained quite a bit of damage. Some other buildings are no longer there, as a matter of fact. And Funland, as most of y'all know, what we've had happen there. Next slide. That is pictures of Funland. There's 12 rides, a train track, fencing all around it, and various other pieces of equipment that we're currently looking at. Burns Park roads, that's been all the heavy equipment from Crowder Gulf has been in the parks. Just kind of slide through those. You'll see these are Burns Park pictures of the roadway. That's by the golf course. That's down on the soccer field. That is a gravel road now. Damage updates that also here, there's 2 tornado sirens that were affected. We kind of got that picture in there just to kind of show you that although we had electricity that was out to 12,000, 15,000 people, part of what we ran into, the big pole was energy line. And so we had to kind of wait on them for some of the things as well before we could restore power. 226 poles, 98 transformers, over 10,000 feet of wire in our entire fiber network from hydro and various parts of the city we're having to replace as well. A little bit about drainage. We're currently evaluating all that around the city. We understand we're probably going to have some issues arise. 5 Mile Creek up in Indian Hills area sustained quite a bit of tree in the area that fell, which caused some flooding issues. We're currently working on that. We almost got that project completed. And then the many street signs that have also been taken away as well. Kim, our emergency management officer over emergency management, been involved in this since March 31st, as long as Ember from finance over our CFO, working on all this together. Kim has really stepped up to the plate. I don't know if she's got anything to add to this, but she retired from the police department, hit the ground running. So thank you, Kim, for all that you did with this and continue to do every day. Anything?
Kim, what time you been getting up in the morning?
It depends.
Yeah, so he didn't tell it, but several people in our city have been meeting FEMA approximately 6:30 every morning for the last week or two. So anyway, Ember, please.
So now that we've kind of gone through a lot of the damages, I know one thing you're probably wondering is what kind of bill are we going to get on all of these things? Well, if you remember from the flood, FEMA categorizes things by these different categories. A is debris removal. Right now, we're kind of estimating that's going to cost us around $8,750,000. Our emergency protective measures, which were all the things we did right away, starting that afternoon, our police and fire, our electric overtime that people were out there working, probably around $3 million. Roads and bridges, not only the roads in Burns Park, but we've got to go out and evaluate all the roads in the community where those big trucks were going through. We think that'll be around $10 million. Buildings and equipment, that number's a little lower because the buildings that are parks related are in the parks number. So $750 for buildings and equipment. Utilities, around $5 million. That's all those, I think there were 9 different utilities outside of the city that came in and helped us. That's their cost, the poles and all those things, and everything you just saw in the parks. So that brings us to about an estimate of $35 million. Next slide. So what are we doing right now? We have weekly meetings with FEMA, Mike, Kim, and myself. We also have some very key department directors. Kenny Stevens is involved. He's working with insurance. We're going out and getting all the insurance money we can right away. Randy and Jason and the parks are instrumental in our site inspections. Like the mayor said last week, we were meeting out at the park at 6:30 in the morning. Mike and Kim and myself are taking turns trying to make different shifts being out there with parks to make sure that nothing is missed. David's out evaluating the streets. Kim's been doing the sirens and been very involved in the food pantry. I know there's a ton of other people, but we can't name them all. So it's just been a huge team effort. We're also in the process of gathering quotes and estimates. So while we still may have to put things out to bid, we've got to get quotes and estimates for FEMA to have good cost. We do have one bid out right now for the roads in Burns Park, because as soon as we get done with those trucks out there, we want to get those roads paved so we can get the soccer fields and all those things open back up, because as you saw, it's like riding gravel roads out there in some spots. We're also discussing mitigation strategies, because FEMA has money that's devoted specifically to mitigation in instances like this. So yeah, on some of our restroom facilities, maybe we can build those back to where they're like a storm shelter. That might cost us more, but FEMA has money set aside to that. So it's all part of the planning process. Next slide, please. So here are some of the important dates, because unfortunately, this just is going to be a process. As you know, the event happened on 3/31. The president declared it a disaster on 4/2. Our governor requested 100% reimbursement for our debris from the president, and he approved that for a 30-day period. The governor decided that period would be 4/10 to 5/10. That really works in our favor, because we got out there and we got going, and 4/10 was about the time that Crowder Gulf really picked up steam. So that period's good for us. We had a FEMA scoping meeting on 5/2, and what that does is it starts your 60-day clock on when you have to notify FEMA of all your damages. So we have to notify FEMA by 7/2 of all of the damages we have. So right now, we're really, really busy out looking at the damages, getting everything reported, doing those site inspections. On 8/5, we can no longer use the soccer fields as our disaster management site, so we hope to be done with that process by then, but if we're not, we can't use the soccer fields anymore. 6 months, 10/4 is when our emergency work has to be done. So these emergency work we're doing on the culverts and the drains and things like that will have to be done by then. 18 months to complete the permanent work, which is 10/4/24. Of course, if we're not done, we can request an extension, but these are our timelines right now that we're working with. And as I said, we meet weekly, and we're in constant contact with FEMA. We had a site inspection today, our weekly meeting tomorrow, another site inspection on Wednesday. So if there's a few of us that might be a little slower to return phone calls, that's why. Next slide. Any questions from anyone?
Anybody? I will say, everybody involved, they have put out a lot of extra work. I know Randy's come on right now, I'm about to introduce him, but I cannot say enough about our city employees, from our police, our fire, sanitation, so everything they've done. I know that we're probably way ahead of some other cities that are involved. I cannot say enough how we had Crowder Gulf on site. As you know, March 31st it hit. Saturday, Crowder Gulf was showing up, and they actually started picking up on Tuesday at about noon that next day. So Mike, Ember, Kim, and everybody in here, city employees, Chief Tessie, I see you back there, but thank y'all for what you've done. Very, very good. Is the National Gun Violence Awareness Month. This is it. Is the people in the audience that I dealt, there you are. Come on up for just a sec, please. I gave you a proclamation, but I asked you to come because I thought it was very important. So please, if you don't mind.
Thank you so much. My name is Eve Jorgensen. I am a volunteer leader with the Greater Little Rock group of Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. We're a national organization, And we have this Greater Little Rock group that celebrated National Gun Violence Awareness Day on June 2nd. We thank you, Mayor Harwick, for signing this proclamation. I'd like to read it now. To all to whom these presents shall come, greetings. Whereas more than 120 Americans are killed every day in acts of gun violence, and whereas America averages more than one mass shooting per day, and whereas since 1968, more Americans have perished in acts of domestic gun violence than in all wars in our nation's history, and whereas gun violence claims the lives of over 32,000 Americans every year, with over 19,000 suicides and over 11,000 homicides, whereas 2 children are killed each day from unsecured guns in their homes, and whereas every gun in the hands of a child must pass through the hands of an adult, and whereas we as a community must do what we can to reduce the public health crisis of gun violence in our country, and whereas June 2nd is National Gun Violence Awareness Day, and Americans across the country will be wearing orange to raise awareness of gun violence across our land. So we held events across the nation, and ours was last weekend. We wear orange. It's the color hunters wear, don't shoot. And we have events throughout the year. We meet monthly. We work on legislation, we work on community engagement, and we like to show up at festivals like this weekend's Juneteenth. We'll be down East 9th Street in Little Rock handing out gun locks and our Safe Storage Be Smart program. We know safe storage saves lives. So gun locks are always something we need, but we really, truly appreciate your support. And we can't thank you enough, Mayor.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything you do. Appreciate it. Real fast, we're going to move on, but I want to introduce Randy Sanford. Randy, if you'll come up for just a sec, and don't leave your better half there. Come on up, both of you. You might as well be part of the city. Randy, as y'all know, I named him as the new Parks Director June 5th, I think's the date. So, Randy, say hello to everybody, please.
All right, hello. How you, city council members, aldermen, mayor. Thanks so much. I want to introduce my wife, Leslie Ballard Sandifer. We've been married for 32 years. She likes to speak in front of large crowds, so I'm going to let her talk about our grandkids. Go ahead.
I'm good.
Go ahead,
Not a
Meg.
speak. Oh, well, okay, we have 2 sons, Jordan and Jake. They are each married to Molly Ann and Kelsey. Molly Ann's family is North Little Rock, the Gossers family, the big involved in the city. We have Molly Ann and Jake have.
I got to tell you
Opal
something.
is
I'm going to, hang on. He was sitting there trying to write this down. He called you to get their names, didn't he?
No, he was nervous.
He really did.
and then I'm sitting here thinking, okay, Opal is 3. George and Beckett turned 1 last week, twins. And then Jordan, our son in Greenbrier, has a almost 4-year-old Savannah.
Thank you very much.
And 1 on the way, Charlie Joe.
Thank y'all very much. I appreciate all your help. And I want to introduce everybody to our new Parks Director, if you don't mind. Randy, thank you for all your help. Okay, unfinished business.
Yes. R 2360, Mayor Hartwick.
Let's hold it again, please.
This is the 6th and final.
I know,
Okay.
I understand it, yes. I do know, yes, I do know. Okay.
R 2384, Councilmember Hamilton.
Hold it, please.
R 2395, Mayor Hartwick.
Please, I need to call, Amy, convene a public hearing on this deal again. R 2395. I didn't think so, so let's go ahead and call it, please.
Okay. A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 4706 Atkins Street, also known as 4705 Haywood Street in the city of North Little Rock, to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
Move for adoption.
Motion to adopt and second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Pass.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris? Insulaco?
Pass.
And Height?
Yes.
Passed? Okay. Thank you.
R23-105, Mayor Hartwick.
Please.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an agreement to rehabilitate property for certain real property located at 1709 Chandler Street in the city of North Little Rock.
This is the one you held for the owner to be
Yeah,
here?
and I see, is Mr. Smith, is he want to? You are here? Yes, sir. Come on up, please, sir. I held this for you, so we're trying to figure out where you are on this, if you don't mind. 1709 Channel Street, so you're R23-105, Charles Smith, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. You got 3 minutes.
Okay. We're trying to rehabilitate this property on 1709 Chandler Street. It was condemned by the city before we got it. But when we came into possession of the property, instead of tearing it down in the community, we see a way that we can rehabilitate it and make it a better structure, a better, make it livable, as well as enhance the community.
Hey, hang on just a sec. Felicia, you here? Felicia, are you here? Come on up, please, for me, please, so we can get this all. So where we are right now on this, okay, I'm sorry. Hang on just a sec, if you don't mind.
Yes.
So tell me where we just got to, tell me the procedure right fast, where we are. He's been wanting some more time, looks like, so tell me how long we're going to go on with this, please.
This isn't one with more time. This would be the initial
This initial one?
rehab
Okay.
agreement.
So-
Ms. Ross had indicated that she wanted the owner here.
Okay, so is there anything we need to be doing except listening to him right now? Okay, Ms. Ross, hang on a sec.
Now, on these rehab agreements, there's been some misunderstanding, it seems like, over the past year. When we approve a rehab agreement, that they have not been able to complete it within the time that they're supposed to, according to the rehab agreement. I just want to make sure that you understand that, we're back on track. COVID kind of put us behind on some of these, but we're back on track as far as the rehab agreement. So you will be able to do it within this time frame?
Yes, ma'am.
No problem?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just wanted your word on it.
Yes, ma'am.
Taylor, do you want to say anything? Okay, Ms. Taylor, Ms. Robinson.
How long ago did we get the rehab agreement?
Let me look.
How long has it been in place? Because I know rehab agreements have to go through, your office.
They go through my office first, and I'm not sure exactly when they agreed, when they had gotten with Rick to agree to do this. I assume it was sometime in May, because it was on the agenda for May 22nd, and then got held so that the owner could be here.
Okay, anything else? So you're telling me that you've been notified and you'd like to hold this a little bit longer because you're back the process? Is what you're saying to me?
No, this is to rehab. He
The
wants to
rehab,
go
no, it's
ahead and
rehab.
start
You want to get ahead and get
rehabbing it.
started, correct? Is that what
Yes,
you're
sir.
saying? Your time frame for rehab and getting started is what?
According to the information that I have, it's 180 days, I think it is.
Can you do everything in those 180 days, you think?
Yes, sir. We're ready to hit the ground running.
Okay,
Don't come back.
then let me go ahead and hold this then.
Is there a motion in a second?
I don't know.
Move
if
to adopt.
There's a motion to adopt, but there's a second then. Or do we
Second.
want to go ahead and hold this now?
No, second.
Let's go ahead and go then. All right, got you.
On the
Thank-
motion,
on
Ross?
motion.
Yes?
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Pass.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris? Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
very much. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go on to the consent agenda. Anybody want to pull anything from the consent agenda? If not, I'll ask for a motion to accept R23, 117, 118, and 119.
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Can
I'm
we
sorry.
just pull R23-119 and just for public information?
Okay. I can ask for a motion, 123, 117, 118.
Right. just the all in
Move for
favor on
adoption.
that.
Motion adopted on
Second.
20. Okay.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
This is a all in favor on
Yeah, that's all we
117 and
gotta do. All in
118.
favor,
on the
say aye.
consent.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. So we're on for 123, 119. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A resolution extending the suspension of permit fees for single-family and two-family residential structures directly impacted by the March 2023 tornado until August 28th, 2023.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion adopted, second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris? Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
R23-120, Councilmember Hamilton.
Please call it.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an amended agreement to rehabilitate property for certain real property located at 715 East 14th Street in the city of North Little Rock for consideration only.
Ms. Bernie?
Do we need to put it on the floor
Yeah, Ms.
first?
Bernie's here, so you might as well get it through right now.
Well, yeah, so,
Let's get a motion and
Get
a
a motion
second
second.
first.
motion to approve.
I'll second that just to get it on the floor
That's-
so we can vote.
Yeah, so it's for consideration only, and I want to be very clear that I know this property well. It's for the past 3 years, it's been absolutely terrible. Mr. Mays,
Is that Mr. Mays?
Mr. Mays called me begging for a hearing, saying that he was absolutely going to clean it up. I told him, put your money where your mouth is. If you haven't pulled any permits or gotten any other work by the time it gets before council, I'll be voting no against it. So, Mr. Mays, have you pulled any permits on the property to do any work? Have you pulled any construction permits?
No, sir, you gotta do me a favor, you have to stay in front of the microphone.
Please introduce
Yeah,
yourself.
there you go, thank you, Nathan.
I couldn't pull because they wouldn't allow it to be pulled until after I had this meeting with the board.
Is that true?
I don't know. I don't work
And I
in
was
building
asking her,
permits.
I basically have packages
Okay.
for the board members.
Could you tell us in,
Down, I would have to blame my little grandniece who told me she could help me.
could you let us know have you put any improvements?
There's not anything in here.
Here's one.
Oh, okay.
What improvements have you made to the property since you and I spoke?
What, as of right now,
Yes, as of right now. I told you that if you hadn't made any improvements before you came to the city council, I'd
yeah,
vote
well,
no
I
on
mean,
it.
I gave you pictures of the improvements that have been made to the property. And the plumber, first of all, I have to explain the problem that caused me to be late. During the pandemic, we had to keep tenants who could not pay, and we could not remove from the population because of the law. This caused the problem with both the code people and the courts. However, with the help of the courts and with the help of the code people, we have now resolved that problem because we can, one, put people out that are not cooperating, and people are now paying their rent. So that in and of itself allowed something that I didn't have earlier. But I couldn't, I mean, we were there to pull the permit. I've basically got a contractor, I've paid the contractor a down payment. But North Little Rock, the plumber that laid out that work that you see, he laid it out in PVC, scheduled PVC. North Little Rock doesn't accept that. So I got to pull my hot water and cold water lines and run material acceptable to the city of North Little Rock.
Ms. Bernie, I see you out there, and you asked to speak, so I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna pull you up if you got time for me, please. So let's,
I'd like to hear from Felicia as
Huh?
well.
Well,
I'd like
I'm
to hear
about
from
to, so.
Felicia as well.
Okay, Felicia, come on up. Let's see if we can get this thing straight, okay? Ms. Bernie? Are you with him, or you want to, okay, I got you. So let me do this. Let me get Felicia up here, and I'll bring you up, okay? Mr. Mays, yes. Go ahead, Felicia. Questions for Ms.?
Yeah, Ms. McHenry, this has been a problem property for quite some time, for as long as I've been on the council, for at least 3 years. Could you give me, in your estimation, if it's time for this to come down, or if he's made any progress whatsoever?
I'm not sure if he's made progress or not. He's not contacted our office to do an inspection or a follow-up inspection. This property has never been occupied since I've been working for code enforcement over 20 years. Mr. Mays, talking about the pandemic and not
I understand.
being able to evict anybody, it's never been occupied.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can I bring Ms. Bernie up? Oh, go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
So I guess I'm a little confused, as usual. Is the property condemned?
It's been condemned for 11 months.
They did a rehab agreement in August of last year, and that has expired. And so Mr. Mays was given notice that we were going to go ahead and demo the property and keep his escrow payment he had made back in August of last year when the rehab agreement was approved. And he reached out to the city council, and Mr. Hamilton sponsored this for consideration only to give him an additional 45 days. But yes, it was condemned, I don't know, on July 25th of last year, and then the rehab agreement in August.
Okay, well, that clears up my confusion.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Bernie, I'm going to clear all these up as we go. Ms. Bernie, coming up.
Mr.
Identify-
Height has his hand up.
I know, hang on just a sec. You want to
Mayor
speak for her,
Howard.
or you want to wait, Mr. Height?
I just had a question.
Let me get her, because it's on this list. I'm clearing up, so I'll
Go
come
ahead.
back to you. Ms. Bernie?
Yes, Mayor Howard Council, I just want to say, I've been back in the neighborhood for 15 years. That house has not had anyone occupied in that house. It's steady traffic going in and out of the house, but there's no one occupying the house, there's no utilities, and it's becoming a nuisance to the neighborhood.
Mr. Height?
I was going to ask what we're hearing from the neighbors.
There you are.
There we are, right there.
That's what
You
I
know.
do, so hold on. Okay. Anything else? You got a second, because I'm about to call us to a vote. Yes, sir.
Okay. The pandemic did not affect that particular piece of property. It affected each and every other unit that supports that property. That property, like they say, has never been occupied. And it has never been, now, I did find out that she's telling me the truth because they stole, when we first started working on that property, they stole the wire. And we put the wire back in, and they stole what little copper that existed in that house. That's why we went with scheduled PVC. The property has changed direct. Now, the property was totally remodeled in 1990, 100%. It has not been remodeled since. It has been partially remodeled.
Mr. Mays, I'm going to have to, you've had your time. It's right now that you were talking about 1990, which that's 33 years ago. So right now on the agenda here, we got for consideration only to amend the agreement or to go forward with it. So right now, as it's been read, is that correct?
And we've had a motion and a
We've had a
second.
motion and a second. Ms. Ross?
This piece of property, this is my 17th year on the council, and I would dare say that I've had more calls, complaints, people in and out, vagrants in and out, sanitation. I've probably had more calls than all the calls I've had in those 16 years on this one piece of property. Asked code if they could just so they just went back a couple of years on this one. And this is the house next door that Mr. Mays has, the property, the code on that. So these aren't even the sanitation reports, these are just the code reports. And so, you know what, there comes a time when you just say no, that neighborhood needs it badly. I was down there today.
Who's got their phone on, please?
I was down there today, and as far as the outside, it's still, like I said, this is the worst one that I've ever dealt with.
There's a motion on the floor. And there's a
So
second.
can I?
You
speak?
got 1 minute. Yes, sir.
One
1 minute.
minute.
1 more minute. 'Cause I've been hearing something
Pri-
since for
prior to
33
your
years now.
vote, The basic reason that this property has not been finished is I ran out of funds. And the thing that caused me to run out of funds is my wife had liver cancer. But we have, you can see by those pictures, we have made substantial progress. And all we need is another 3 weeks and we can be out of this proper. Now, I can't solve the problem of the neighborhood. It has gone from LGBT to, right now, it's basically all white, except for one.
Okay, that's
Mr.
enough.
Mays,
That's
that,
enough.
discussion about either the racial makeup or any other characteristics
said
of the
he's 1 minute,
community
Miss
are not
Manning.
appropriate for this council.
So you've used your 1 minute, and there's a motion on the floor, and there is a second. So,
On the motion, Ross?
I just want to say one thing.
Ms. Ross.
I said to keep my mouth shut. I know. But, it's these properties like this that have the negative effect on the neighborhoods, and that's why we need to clean them up. I won't say any more.
thank you. There's a motion and a second. Please call it.
She asked for your vote.
On the motion, Ross? Hamilton?
No, I vote no to enter into an amended
Oh, wait.
agreement to rehabilitate
Is
the
this to
property.
rebuild? Okay, no. Thank you.
I vote no.
Mine's a no.
Taylor?
No.
Robinson?
No.
Baxter?
No.
Harris? No. Insulaco?
No.
And Height?
No.
Thank y'all. Yes, Ms. Ross.
How soon would this, because it's been condemned, they were ready to
Alicia?
move. How long does it take now to the neighbors have to wait again after?
Well, it won't have to wait long, but I
Okay,
can
just
take.
curious.
Miss Felicia, did you hear the question? All right, can you give us an approximate answer?
They have contractors ready to go.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I got them ready and already paid for. But had down payment, not totally.
The motion's been, said no to it, sir. Let's go on to the next one. I apologize. Thank you, Ms. Felicia. Thank you. All right, we're going to R 23-121, please.
Mayor Hartwick?
Yes,
A
call it.
resolution revoking the business license of Phillips Backyard Oasis.
Please call it.
Move for adoption.
Second.
I have, Victoria, where are you? I think I've got what you, but let's go ahead and get this going. What we're doing now is we're revoking the business license for Backyard Oasis, so let's call it. Please? I'm not gonna bring you up. I think I know where you stand, Ms. Hensley, okay? There's not a question. I want to make sure do you still want to speak before we call this, or you want? One comment, come on, please, ma'am. I know who you are. Good seeing you again. Identify yourself, please.
Yes, my other neighbor had broke her foot, so she wasn't able to make it tonight, but she wanted to send her thanks to the committee, to the police department, and of course, the council, all of you. So the only thing I had to say was that for 2 years, we had to endure a very annoying kind of problem. And lately, since the things have been changed from a current situation that happened, I have now realized how much I missed being able to sit in my backyard just to read a book, just to be able to think. Because the last couple of times, I thought I was going to end up in the hospital from high blood pressure. And I don't have blood pressure problems.
I got you, so I understand.
But I thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you. All right, where were we?
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris? Yes. Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Let's go ahead, and we're going to ordinance 2334. And please call it, if you don't mind.
An ordinance approving the application of Brewski's Pub and Grub 2, Inc. for a private club to be located at 2800 Lakewood Village Drive, North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move we suspend all readings.
Second.
Ben, second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris? Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes. Move for adoption.
Second.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris? Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris? Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
No, I was going to say.
I
we've
know,
got-
I saw him out there, if you want to
know.
introduce him or not.
Yes, let them come up.
Come
and
on up,
tell
a
us
new
about it.
business in our town, introduce yourself, please.
I know this space has been empty for quite some time, and I've heard.
Thank you. My name is Brad McCray. I'm the owner of Brewski's Pub and Grub in downtown Little Rock. I've been a restaurateur in Central Arkansas for about 20 years. Brewski's was a concept we developed about 5 years ago, and it's really been a successful take. We became very community focused. I've got Jenny and LC here with me as well. We do a lot of stuff with the Downtown Partnership, and it really just kind of came full circle. And we're really excited about coming to North Little Rock. We think we're going to fit a good niche demand in that area, and we appreciate you guys' support, and we look forward to joining the business community.
Thank
But
you
he
very
didn't even
much.
tell us the location.
Yeah,
It's in Lakewood Village Shopping Center. It's the former Fox and the Hound location. It's a little bit smaller than it used to be. I think the Cookie Crumble's taken over a couple thousand square feet, but it's going to be a great fit for our business.
thank you very much.
Thank
Any other
you all.
questions for you? Hey, wait, right here, Mr. Harris?
Yes, sir.
Council members can join that private club, I guess. Can I join?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm going too.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, let's go. Thank you
Thank you
very
all.
much. I
Appreciate you.
appreciate it. Yes, sir.
O-2335, Councilmember Height and Insulaco.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a conditional use to allow automobile repairs and/or minor services in a C3 zone for certain real property located at 6907 John F. Kennedy Boulevard in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move we suspend all readings.
Second.
Motion second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes. Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion adopted, second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
O-2336, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a special use to allow an event center in a C6 zone for certain real property located at 216 West 4th Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
Motion suspended, second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
So moved.
Adoption.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
O-2337, Councilmember Height.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a special use to allow a tattoo parlor in a C1 zone for certain real property located at 5100 John F. Kennedy Boulevard in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move we suspend all readings.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes. Move for adoption.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency,
Thank you.
Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
O-2338, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance granting a conditional use to allow large implement and large vehicle sales in an I-1 zone for certain real property located at 12101 Eanes Road in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
O 2339, Councilmember Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance waiving section 6.2.4.e of the zoning ordinance, ordinance number 9263, for certain real property located at 12101 Eanes Road in the city of North Little Rock to allow the waiver of paving requirements, declaring an emergency, first reading.
I don't know, I need to call convene the public hearing on this. Yes. Let me go ahead. You want me to go ahead and finish it to the suspension of rules?
Yeah, let's
Okay,
suspend
let's do
the
that
rules
that way.
first.
Gotcha.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
With that, I'm going to convene a public hearing. Those wishing to speak for or against this O 2339, please come to the microphone, please. Those wishing to speak for or against, please come to the microphone. Please identify yourself, your name, please, sir.
Roy Andrews, Holloway Engineering. Just to give a little clarification, this is the area in the back part of the property. Aero Truck Sales wishes to bring used tractor trailer rigs in and clean those up for resale. There's no maintenance going on. It's just really to clean them up and get the trucks ready for resale. And this is in the back part of their yard to allow for easy accessibility.
Any questions? If not,
Ms. Ross.
Ms. Ross.
So you said you clean them up, and are you talking just like detail them?
Just detailing them,
You're not
yes.
doing body work or
No,
anything
ma'am.
like, okay, gotcha.
Anybody else? All right, please call it.
I need a motion.
Oh, is there let's get a
So
motion.
move.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
O 2340.
Please,
Mayor Hartwick?
let's go ahead. I'm going to get suspension of the rules, suspension, then I'll go to convene a public hearing again.
Okay. An ordinance rezoning certain property located at 7532 Colonel Maynard Road within the planning jurisdiction of the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, from R2 to R6 zoning classification by amending ordinance number 9263, declaring an emergency, adopting an amended land use plan for the subject property. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
With that, I'm going to go ahead and convene this for a public hearing. Those wishing to speak for or against this on O 2340, please come to the microphone. When you come to the microphone, please identify yourself, give your name and address, please, okay?
Maybe all together.
And if they are, well, let me see. Here's the deal. Can I ask, give me your name first, if you don't mind, sir.
Scott Squires.
I got Scott, I got Drew.
Can Drew speak for us?
You can have anybody speak for you. I got people who won't speak for or against. Who else is, who's else?
Mayor, could you give us a quick rundown on what's going on with this one?
About to, yes. Hang on, I want to identify everybody if I can,
Before
please.
they
Yeah.
speak.
And my question is, are y'all speaking together at the same?
Yes, sir.
Everybody's saying, so give
Yes,
me your
sir.
names again. I got Drew
I'm
and Scott.
I'm Drew.
Oh, I got that. And I see a Don. Don, is that you there? How about Jeff Chapman? Okay, there you are, Jeff. I got you. I'm looking for Steve Knight. There's Steve, okay. And Todd? That's Todd. Okay, who's speaking for y'all? And y'all are explaining to us what this, oh, wait a minute, I got one more. Anthony Lee? Is that you, Anthony? Yes, sir.
Yes, y'all can pass
Are you with the same group or, okay, so I'm gonna let you come after they speak. Is that fair to you? So just remind me. All right, so if you can tell us what this is about, you heard from the council what this is about. And this, go ahead, Scott, please.
So
I'm Drew. So what I'm handing out here is, there's two letters from two people that live around the area immediately surrounding it that are against the rezoning. Also, we actually sold this property before Mr. Reams bought it to somebody else. It was involved in a lawsuit because there was never supposed to be a manufactured home of any sorts placed on that property. It was as you can see in the lawsuit, in the purchase agreement, that they agreed that they would never put anything in there. He went in front of Little Rock Court, in front of Judge Griffin, and he agreed and made them move the trailer off the property permanently. And we would ask that the council please do not rezone it, because, like I said, everybody that lives surrounding this property is all against the rezoning of that property.
Okay. Anybody else? Y'all are all saying the same thing, so if you don't mind, I'm going to ask Mr. Lee. Where are you, Mr. Lee, again?
Yes.
This is public comment on this, so come on up, please, sir. And this is for, identify yourself and address, please.
Yes, my name is Anthony Lee, and this is my wife, Vicki Lee. We reside at 1960 Clarks Drive, Conway, Arkansas. And we are here to ask the council to rezone it due to the fact that when we went to get permits via the city and Pulaski County, we were told that the only permit at the time we needed, which was the PERT for that. And since then, speaking to Donna James with the city and Vicki Laspina with the Pulaski County, we have put in a septic system after the PERT test. We've had a FHA approved permanent foundation poured. The house has been delivered and set up.
Okay.
Because when we were, even the contractor trying to get the permit and find out what jurisdiction it was in, we was given misinformation, which I do have an email that states that from the Planning Commission. Or not.
Sean, are you in here in the back? Come on up. Or Sean, you in the audience? Just be ready for this. I think we have questions about this.
So who is Anthony and Vicky?
I'm Anthony.
He's Anthony right there.
Vicky.
Okay.
Anthony Lee right there. So questions for Mr. Spencer?
So,
I
real
think-
quick, there's a difference between
I know.
Pulaski County planning and North Little Rock planning. So he's referring, you know, there's, when he says planning department, some of that was or
So
Pulaski
what you're
County.
saying to us, they are in our planning jurisdiction, correct?
Correct, yes.
It's not actually in the city limits, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
And
that's
it's
what we're
zoned.
trying.
And so it is zoned R2 for a single-family house. So we found out about it when the county called us to ask if we had heard anything from them, because they were getting ready to assign it. The county assigns an address. So the county always checks with us to make sure everything's okay before they assign an address. So at that point in time, we found out about it and went out and put a stop work on the project. And then that's where, within
Where we are right
2
now.
or 3 days, you called us and we came in. So that's where we are and everything. But, you know, I think the county, your email was from the county, right? County planning?
From the city is what Donald James.
Well, that was after the fact, but before the fact, Vicki with the county had said that, you know, that was all they needed to do. So
what you're saying, Vicki from planning in Pulaski County said that's all he needs, but meanwhile, he has to come to us because we have planning jurisdiction, is what you're telling me?
Correct.
Okay. Questions from anybody? Mr. Taylor? No?
No questions. Just, I guess, just a comment. This is kind of one of those things. This is like the Ashley Downs and the Deer Meadows thing that they technically wasn't in the city, and I guess we kind of dropped the ball on our oversight, and substandard roads and all this other stuff was put in, and I mean, I don't know. We may annex. Who knows what's going to happen? It could be annexed, could not be annexed. But if we annex it, and then all of a sudden there's a trailer, then now it doesn't fit. And if it's in our territory's jurisdiction, what is it now? 2 miles now, Sean?
up to 2 miles, so
It
not.
used to be 5.
Yeah.
Yes. So now it's 2.
Yeah, so in some places it's 0 and some, you know, and it's
Yes.
somewhere between 0 and 2.
Depending on what a river is.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I just think we need to be careful when we're looking at these things, and there's some obvious opposition. I don't know. I have mixed emotions about it.
Yes.
There's
Come on to the mic, please. Yes.
Again, there's a manufactured home directly across the road. Directly across the road, there's a manufactured home. And that didn't give us permission to go ahead and do it. We were following everything because I know he made the comment that after we had put everything up, but when we called back to the city office, someone in the office stated that that wasn't their jurisdiction.
What's the pleasure of the council? If not, I've got to convene this public hearing. First off, I'm sorry.
So you said that there is a mobile home across the road. These guys are shaking.
Yes, sir.
They're about to break their necks shaking their head no.
There is one directly across the road.
From where you are.
It's very visible. It was there 25 years ago. Okay.
On Spectrum.
There's
Anybody else?
nothing.
We're out here, we're outside the city, but eventually we'll, I guess, be taking it over, and I guess this is all about a mobile home, just about a mobile home.
A manufactured home that's on an FHA-approved permanent foundation, yes, sir.
And
Well, there's different. There's a mobile home, there's a manufactured home.
This is a manufactured home, a brand-new manufactured home on an FHA-approved permanent foundation.
That would be eventually, right? Because there's not one, it's not there now.
It is there now. We've
It's
got
up
the.
on, when I
oh,
drove by there today, it was up on the cinder blocks. That's what I saw.
That's the FHA permanent foundation is, the, pouring of the, what they call, concrete, footers, which is 32 foot long, 11 of them. 12 inches deep with rebar.
Just doing a public hearing, so yes, sir, if you don't mind, again, identify yourself, please, again.
My biggest concern is we live in a
Please,
beautiful.
I gotta have your name again, I apologize.
My name is
Give me your
Todd,
name.
Todd McClanahan.
Thank you, sir.
My biggest concern, we live in a beautiful area out there, all of us has homes. And if we pass this and let him move us on there, then everybody else can do whatever they want. Right beside my house is Craig Avenue. You can go 1.5 miles down Craig Avenue to the end back there and look at what it has happened back there. It's just, it's a mess. And that's why, we're here. We don't want,
I understand what
this
you're
to
saying.
pass and then everybody can do whatever they want.
You want to speak, y'all got a few more, no, go ahead, I'm about to convene this, but go ahead.
If you'll look at the lawsuit that was filed on the previous owners to that property, it said no manufactured home of any sorts to be permanently removed from the property. That was the lawsuit we won, that I was telling you about. So, I mean, it's any manufactured home of any sorts. And so if you do pass it, there still could be litigation between us.
If you're gonna talk about litigation,
Yeah,
that's your
no,
business.
I understand.
All right,
I'm just saying.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Thank you, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
I'm Donald Chapman. I either owned all of the land or was involved in all of it. I've developed all of it going west, and it was all under a bill of assurance since the beginning. And all the houses going west from that is $300,000 houses. And that's the reason we don't want to take and break it up into getting trailer park in there. Thank you, sir.
You got any last thing, because I'm about to stop this, okay?
I would encourage the council to drive down that street. There's a junkyard without a fence before you even come to these properties. I'm not saying going against anyone else's houses, what type they are, but right next door, the neighbor next door, it's a metal building that is used as a home. It's a metal building. It's not a stick-built home is what he was talking about.
Okay, all right. So this is a public hearing. I've heard what you said. I've heard it. Is there anybody out there that has anything to say on this evening? If not, I'm going to stop this. Okay? Anybody else wishing to speak for or against this on R 2340? If not, I'll adjourn this public hearing. Yes, sir, Mr. Harris.
So, how do we, I'm not ready to make a decision. Thank you for going out there. Why didn't you tell me to go out there? Anyway, I'm going to have to put my eyes on this. I can't make a decision tonight. It needs to be held, if you ask me.
It could be held. There hadn't been a motion or a second on it. But if there's a motion and a second and it's not held, then it'll be voted on.
I mean, I'm interested in what council members have to say about it. I'm usually for more housing, but I can understand that there are areas, but this is, extraterritorial is so difficult because people move out to the county to do what they want. And he's right, there's probably a junkyard, down the road from them, but there are also $400,000 houses along the lake there. I mean, I feel a little inadequate to be making a decision that far out, but I'm interested what other council members think. I'm usually all for housing of all types, but I can understand residents' opposition to this, so I don't know how
There
I feel
is,
about this.
excuse me for interrupting. The council members are telling me they haven't seen it for y'all out there. So if you're.
Well, I've driven by it. I'm just interested
So-
in what other people think.
In this ward here, I've got one or two of them saying they'd like to hold it.
Okay. I
Gentlemen?
respect that.
I mean, it's up to the council members in that area. I mean, but when I drove out there today, like I said, I saw the structure, right, up on crater blocks, right, what I call it, and there was nothing in the front as far as any kind of underpinning or whatever, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then, the metal building that was next to it, I had visions of what I've seen on the interwebs as far as what those things can look like inside. And I'm thinking like, man, that's probably got a pretty neat setup inside. So,
Okay.
you know, it doesn't necessarily, fit with some of the other structures that are out there. However, I also know that this area is close to the Ward 2 boundaries, and they represent the folks closest to this said subject structure, and, I really defer to them. I don't know that I would want it necessarily entering, coming into my area if my area had the structures that are actually in the city out there.
Sean said he had pictures.
I know I've been asking what's going on with the camera, I don't know what's,
Oh, okay.
but
Oh, you do have pictures of
they're supposed to be showing it, but right, all the screen's been dead here for the last 20 minutes. I just got their attention. There you go. Thank you.
so what is this?
That's the structure right there. I understand.
That's what's there now?
Yes, sir.
That was taken this morning.
Good. Is that all the picture you have, Sean? Yeah. Okay, that's the only one. There yours. Okay. So, Mr. Height.
I'll try to say this. I've probably served on the council longer than anybody. And since I've been on the city council, I can't remember when we did not try to reduce the number of mobile homes that are in this city. There are some in the city now, but when they get damaged or destroyed or torn up, they can't replace them. We've tried to do everything as a council to prevent them from coming back, from increasing in the city. We've done everything we could to reduce the number of mobile homes, manufactured homes that are in this city. And so when you ask, you'd like to hear from the council, you just heard from one.
You know this isn't in the city.
Pardon me?
This isn't in the city. But I still, even though that's the case, just pointing that out, I still defer to the two council members who are closest to it. And I mean, I can understand both sides of it. Usually I'm all for housing, but.
I mean, I see the picture, but I gotta see it. I'm not there. I got a peripheral. Sean, I need a peripheral. Come
Why
on.
didn't you do a
Give me
360?
Give me a drone flight. Anyway.
Guys, everybody, yes, Ms. Ross, go ahead.
I just want to say something. And the reason we have this, the planning outside of the city, the 2 mile, and like you said, is if we do, annex that. And this is, didn't we recently have one that the planning had given, or we had given them so much to use it as a temporary while they were building their home? They went ahead and finished it, and they came back and said, well, we've already finished it. We can't, now you have to let us do it. And so now here's the second one that it's already, this far along. So I don't know, how do we prevent that in the future or what happens? But if we don't allow them in the city, those same planning rules go without, 2 miles outside of the city. So whatever you do for inside the city, you need to do the same 2 miles outside of the city, or 0 to 2 miles. Just my thoughts.
Yeah, good point. So, just for my curiosity, how did it get this far? How did it get this far? This is a long way.
For it being out in the county, I mean, we don't have anybody that drives by it daily or knows it or anything. So we work with the county. So when the county issues an address, before they issue it, they call us and say, hey, is this okay? And that's where we are, is the county originally had approved the perk test. And so they went ahead and moved it on the property. And then we got a phone call, and as soon as we found out, within 24 hours, we put a stop work on it to figure out what to do.
That's a pretty good view there. Where's that other trailer that you're pointing to? Is that it? Is that, it says it says.
It's further north on Spectrum, right? Or
No, he's right in the red.
yeah, the one on Spectrum. Yeah, it's further.
Gotta turn it on, boss.
Trying to.
On the side.
Okay. So there's property there. You're putting that trailer right there. Now, where's the other one going to?
Go up Spectrum.
Keep it by left? To my right. I'm back. Is that it right there? Okay. I got you. Okay. Mr. Baxter?
I just remember, Mayor, I need to correct myself. Back about, I don't know, maybe a year ago, we did have a similar situation out on MacArthur that was it was in the territorial jurisdiction area. And we ended up voting that down. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
I just want a quick comment.
It's still in the public hearing, yes, sir.
10, 15 seconds. I'm Steve Knight. I live directly adjacent to said property in discussion. I met Anthony a couple times during the spring, told him a few specifics about the property, what had happened in the past.
Where you live right there?
Yes, right there.
All right.
And I told him there were certain restrictions on the property. He told me what he was anticipating maybe putting on the property. I said, I don't think that will fly because of what's happened in the past. I said, you need to go talk to Scott and Drew Squires. They will clear up anything that you might have to ask them. This is where we are.
All right. Mr. Taylor?
This is my last question. So are you moving from Conway to this property, or this is gonna be a rental property? What is this?
Primary resident. Then I got a 911 address on April 12th.
Okay.
Any more questions? If not, I'm going to adjourn this public hearing. Now back to where we were. Where were we, Ms. Taylor?
I don't think we have a motion or a
We
second.
don't.
What I'm saying, I just adjourned the public hearing, so we
Right.
don't have a motion or a second, right?
Right.
So,
Maybe spin the readings.
We've already
done that.
So where are we?
motion to suspend the readings and we're listening for.
Like, does anybody have a motion?
So move.
Second?
On the motion, Ross?
No.
Hamilton?
No.
Taylor?
No.
Robinson?
No.
Baxter?
No.
Harris?
No.
Insularco?
No.
And Height?
No.
That has been voted down, sir. So,
On the emergency? Do we
Emergency
need to do
clause,
emergency?
please.
No,
Not
okay.
emergency since it didn't
voted
pass.
down. All right, I have one other person that for public comment, and that would be Ms. Flossy and Ms. Coleman on 47. I think it's already over with, but did y'all want to speak in public comment period? Does anybody else want something in public comments? That's on the sign-in sheet. If not, I'm asking for any comments from the council members.
Anything about Officer Cobb's?
I'm about to get Shay up. Shay, if you don't mind, give me 2 seconds of your time, please, ma'am.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's, on the School Street or Atkinson Street deal, we voted on that. So we voted to condemn it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, and I know that they had signed up to speak you know.
I did not know that.
I
Okay.
did later
Well,
on.
they had signed up to speak, and we voted to condemn it.
So R
So
2395.
their option, since we voted to condemn it, their option now is to come to you.
Yes.
And that's why I just asked if you heard from Ms. Coleman if you wanted to come speak in the public comment section.
That was the church
That
that
is,
we had done.
but it was
When
the
that
last-
came up,
I know. It was on public comment sign, so. It's still, if she wants, go ahead, I'm sorry.
that's the one that was 6-2?
Yes, so, yes, ma'am, this is public comment, and I know you went to speak about the church, so it was
Yes.
voted.
I'm Florice Blood, and I'm the pastor of the church. And you already know where we stand, what we've done. The last time we were here, you gave us, well, we asked for 6 months. You told us you were gonna judge us by month situation, see what we've done. We've done a lot. Miss Felicia, I took, we had it's hard to get a structural engineer, but I did get another engineer. What was he? A civil engineer. And he came out, he took pictures, and she's got pictures of all of it. I got pictures as well of the work that he's did, and he reached out to other civil engineers, people that he knew, because he's been in the business, but he's retired, but he did all that work. Got all those pictures of the inside, the outside, from the roof, a ceiling, from the aerial view. Do I need to pass them around?
Well, we've got pictures of all that in our packet. We've already got all that.
Oh, these
Yeah.
last ones, they're from the.
We got everything, I think, council has those packets in their packet.
Okay.
We got pictures of everything from the inside, everything.
Okay, well, these are new from the engineer. And two things that you mentioned that we were to do was to do the roof and to secure the building. So we've secured the building, and we could not pull permits. Our construction company could not pull the permits until a structural engineer had given his approval of it. This letter, there's a letter from our civil engineer that's in this packet, reaching out to all of those people. And I just tell you, to cut through the chase, I just tell you, the whole while we've been there, one thing that I've noticed that we had not had since the time that we were there, and that's cooperation from the community. We had done things, gave away food, gave away furniture, all of that stuff, but we never had commitment from the community, but we do have commitment from that community now. They see all the movings and everything, and we do have commitments. When there is a problem, we get a phone call, and we never had that before, but we do have that now. And we've got a construction crew, KC Construction Company, and he's on the outside, but he's here. And they're ready to pull the permits. He's licensed, he's bonded, and he's ready. But the only thing is that we have to have those permits from, the letter stamped from the structural engineer. We're ready, we
You didn't ever bring us a structural engineer. You never did.
I
You
never did.
brought anything to us. Is that right?
Yes, I took it to,
Ms. Felicia? It wasn't a structural engineer is what I was briefed on today.
no, what I'm saying is that he was a civil engineer. Can I read the letter from the civil engineer? I know you don't have time for me to do all that, but we got a letter. I'll move my papers out of order. This is the letter from the structural engineer, because we had not been able to get a hold of a this is the letter from the civil engineer, because we had not been able to get.
Structural engineer.
Yes, the structure, but this is his letter to them, and he sent us a copy of this letter. I took all of this packet to Ms. Max Henry to let her know that we were moving forward and where we were, what we were doing. We have not let grass grow under our feet. We've been moving from one thing to another. The windows are all covered for right now, till they're ready to get started on the roof. But we're waiting to get a response. I think one company is the HALF, HALFF, and he said he had several friends and people that he had dealt with. And so he was very sympathetic with us, and he did this on our behalf. But we are beginning to see cooperation from the community.
Today, as you saw, we voted against it. So you need, if you'd like to, you can see Ms. Fields here. She's our city attorney, to see what your options are. If that's the best way to put it, you can seek legal action or whatever. But right now, with what we had, and I checked on it today, you never got a structural engineer that we've been asking you to get. You got a civil engineer, but you don't get a structure. So if you get a structure, you get somebody something falls on, hurts them. That's what we don't want to be responsible for. So right now, you can get with our city attorney and see what your options are, okay? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Shea, if you
Thank
don't
you.
mind, and my apologies, I didn't get to you sooner than that. I was about to. Shay,
Yes,
go ahead
sir.
and introduce yourself, because you're taking over unsheltered community.
Good evening. I'm Officer Shay Cobbs with the North Little Rock Police Department. I've been in the unsheltered community now for maybe a little over a week, starting my second week, so I'm still getting my foot, wet and still figuring out the position, but I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to serving the citizens of North Little Rock and also our unsheltered citizens as well, helping them find affordable housing and resources.
Appreciate you very much, what you do.
Thank you,
very,
sir.
very much. By the way, I'm very proud to announce that the city council and this city will be celebrating Juneteenth. That would be next Monday, I think. But with that, the information that comes with it, delay of sanitation will be one day later. So I am very proud that this city is taking part in the Juneteenth. Anything else from any council members? Okay.
So moved.
Second.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Taylor? Yes. Robinson? Yes. Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Insulaco?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Very good, guys.
I understand. I'm just a third year. I'm still learning.